Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Halfy Hour. My name is Dan Rubenstein, and I am sitting next to a gorgeous human being. And you, too, are sitting next to me. That is Matt Ufford.
Hi.
This is Alyssa Miller. That was a really bad attempt at humor. That was not as smooth as I wanted it to go.
This interview's over.
Yeah, that happened. So,
I'm leaving.
Okay. Welcome to the Halfy Hour. That is Alyssa Miller. She is lovely. She is a model. Sports Illustrated?
Yeah.
Really? You had to go to the top? All right. A swimsuit model for Sports Illustrated. Matt Ufford is to my right. The general, the host of the show.
Not a model.
Not a model. No. I would say model-esque.
I'd agree.
In the sports blogging world, I'm super hot.
Yeah, that is true. It's all context. But in the real world, he's just pale and sarcastic.
Extremely.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm doing okay. Yeah.
Good. That feels like a good thing.
Let's dive in.
Let's dive in. All right, what we do on the show here is best of the week. Best thing you ate, best thing you saw, best thing you listened to, best of anything. And this is what we generally talk about to open up the show. To not put you immediately on the spot, I'm going to ask Matt. Matt, what was the best thing what was the most memorable thing that you ingested? That's a weird word.
Ingested.
It was a pretty lame week for me. We just made our typical dinners throughout the week and then ordered out sushi last night.
Exotic.
Yeah,
I love sushi.
On the rainy, sleety
nice.
night. Of course, it means the big tip to the delivery guy.
That I was going to ask.
Yeah, I can't. I feel really bad ordering delivery on like a bad weather night. So
it's rough.
But yeah, it was a pretty boring week. We make a really good kale salad, which is the whitest thing I could possibly say.
Yeah,
but,
very nice.
But it's a tasty kale salad.
Nice.
And
did you dress it up with a vinaigrette?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you kind of let it. It kind of sits in the vinaigrette juices for like at least half an hour. Gives more flavor.
Wow.
What else is in there?
Red onions. It's a red wine vinaigrette, and if we do it right, we'd have some toasted hazelnuts with it.
Oh.
We didn't have hazelnuts this week.
By the way, before we go any further, Alyssa, if you could stop asking questions, that's my
I'm sorry.
job. No.
I was very interested in the kale salad.
It does
I'm taking notes.
I'll get you a recipe. It's fantastic.
Exchange recipes. Alyssa, what was the best thing? What was the most memorable thing you did, saw, listened to, ate, anything this week?
You know what I watched this week? Because it's kind of like bad weather, so you want to stay inside.
Sure.
I watched Flight on
What'd you think?
Apple TV. I thought it was really good. I think Denzel Washington is amazing.
I thought he was really good in it. I thought the movie was a little uneven.
Yeah, I mean, there were moments where I was a little bit bored because it starts out so exciting.
All the nudity. All of that nudity.
Yeah. I've heard that.
This is true.
It was all downhill after that. I mean, how could they top that? They start out with that girl, and you're just kind of like, oh god.
They start out with the girl, and then they're like, "We're gonna top it. We promise you." And like, "We're gonna fly a plane upside down." All right, I guess. Let's go back.
They killed the girl.
Right.
Right
Spoiler.
after that.
Right.
I mean,
I
crap.
hate it when pretty people die in
okay.
movies. That's
It doesn't feel right.
no. They deserve better.
I want more screen time for the beautiful. If there's anything the beautiful aren't getting, it's screen time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I did love the girl though. That
As
Denzel.
Nadine Velasquez. Is that?
well, was she in the beginning? Are you talking about which girl?
I loved both, but
Okay.
I loved the redhead.
The redhead, yes.
I thought she was beautiful.
She was good looking.
I didn't.
Did you didn't see the movie?
No. I heard it was a little preachy about not drinking, and that doesn't go for me. Like,
So do you remember?
I was drinking a glass of wine while watching this
And
movie.
you felt terribly? You're
No,
like,
I felt
"Oh."
great.
Good. It's good that you're honest. I went and saw the movie in a packed theater. We'll call it a more urban audience.
Okay.
That's what we'll call it. And there, if you
So
remember,
you were in Brooklyn.
I was in Brooklyn. So
is that the one right around the corner from
Yes.
you? I saw Snakes on a Plane opening night in that theater.
That's
That was a
genius.
raucous night.
yeah. So I go see Flight, and you remember the scene where he's pouring all the alcohol down the drain. He's
Yes.
done. He is
Everyone
done
was
with his
like,
addiction.
"What?"
And then he has like a giant bag of an illegal substance.
Right.
And he shakes the remnants of that out into the trash, which, by the way, kids, it's a terrific message. Say no to drugs. But as he's pouring out this giant pillow of a no-no drug, somebody in the audience went, "No!" And that was my favorite part of the
That
movie.
was just painful to watch.
That really hit the core of somebody up that way. I don't know. So, I don't know. That was my favorite part of that movie.
What about you, Dan? What did you like this week?
I'm not gonna lie. I could be masculine.
You
Don't lie.
ordinarily fill the airwaves with lies.
Just lies.
This time,
I really enjoyed the Bachelor special, Women Tell All.
I missed that.
You missed the Bachelor special.
how is it that you and I both saw the Bachelor Bachelorette's
Right.
Tell All?
And
yeah.
I
And
missed
Alyssa
it.
Miller does not. It was. Have you watched this season?
I know I haven't.
Okay.
There's really absolutely
It's been a terrible year.
There's no shame.
it?
There's no shame in not watching The Bachelor. In fact, Dan and I should probably carry the brunt of it.
we
tuning
enjoy
in.
it. It hasn't been a great season, but
I think the only episode I've ever seen of The Bachelor was when Sports Illustrated shot the girls from The
Oh.
Bachelor.
you weren't on that episode though.
No, I just watched it. I was supporting my
You
fellow
supported
Sports Illustrated.
brethren.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brethren. All right. Yeah, The Bachelor was really good. The women on that show are, I think it's fair to say, a little bit off.
Right. I think you
think
would have to be a little bit
It's-
off.
it's
I
a
mean,
little bit
It makes
weird.
for good entertainment.
Right.
What's scary now is that it's been on the air for so long that there are women who've been watching since they were like 13 or 14 or 15 years
That's
old.
so
And
dangerous.
have grown up wanting to be on the show for like a
Right.
decade.
This
Right.
is what courtship should be. This is what my idea is.
Oh my
It's
God.
really bad. So,
Would you ever go on The Bachelor?
yes.
You would?
No.
No.
I don't know.
Come
Would
on.
you? Okay. This is the
All these
hypothetical.
girls like dying to get with you.
Okay, but here's the problem. If there were a version of The Bachelor that wasn't filmed, yes. Or if it was like a closed circuit thing for just like my friends to watch. That's weird now that I say that out
Yeah,
loud.
that is very bizarre.
Yes, there is a very specific interest that there has to be in having all these. The women are beautiful on the show
Yeah.
and nutballs, they're crazy. But yes, that is very flattering. But at a certain point, you're with like 13 different women on network television.
Yes.
And every single there are blogs writing about this show, and it's just every single thing is broken down.
Yeah, I think that it's fun to think about, but
Right.
beyond
reality.
the thought experiment,
Right.
It's when you're like, I would prefer to have a normal life and only be engaged once,
Sure.
only be married once, and not propose to someone who I've only courted on television.
Exactly.
It has worked out for some people, though, right?
No, it's worked out for like
No?
one,
Okay.
2 out of like 38
Yeah.
is like the batting average.
Is that what
that's
season they're on?
happening.
Are they
Yeah.
on season 38?
Well, between Bachelor and Bachelorette.
I think it's 23. 23 or 24. now.
Wow.
And they're like one or two that are still together.
you have I don't remember, Trista?
Trista.
I want to say Trista and Ryan.
I remember that one. She's
Still-
the blonde one, right?
Used to be a cheerleader. The blonde one is a
blonde
very
one.
descriptive way of describing somebody
Nailed
that's been
it.
on The Bachelor,
I know.
Bachelorette. Would you, I'll flip this. Would you be a Bachelorette?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely. Why is
Absolutely
that?
not.
What if you were just the Bachelorette and had all these bachelors?
That's what I'm
trying to
saying.
woo
Would you be the singular Bachelorette? Yeah.
No.
Why not?
No way. Because
She can
that,
do better.
Yeah, no, that is true.
that just scenario makes me very uncomfortable.
Let me-
cameras in general make me like a little
Cameras
bit
make you uncomfortable, and yet a model.
I know it's a very weird thing, but I mean
is
when
weird.
they're like in your face and they see every moment, you get it's very strange.
That
No, you
it
don't
is.
want to be making out on camera and like
No.
being in a hot tub.
I barely do
and-
well enough making out without cameras.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's hard enough to figure that out. Yeah,
Right.
it's true. All right, so the number one thing that you watched, I totally forgot now. We
Was
got
Flight.
sidetracked. Was Flight.
Flight.
That's right. We did talk about Flight. All right, so let's take this back to you, and let's your origins, your birth
Right.
story. I don't know.
Oh, no.
That was weird. So how did you get started in this world? You told us that you started
Right.
out around 15-ish.
Right. I
So-
mean, it was more like 14 when I got discovered, I guess.
And
but
what was that
wasn't-
process of being discovered?
Well, a friend of my father's was actually a model in LA, and she saw me and was like, "You should really model." It's
That's the most normal story.
Yeah, no,
think.
it's
That
very.
is.
It was very. No, I was like at my dad's. We were having dinner or something, and she came over and
So-
was like, "She is really beautiful, and you should get her into modeling." So my dad kind of was very protective about it,
That's
and
smart.
there was a photo at his wedding that he took of me, and he sent it in to an agency in LA, which was
Right.
the same agency that this girl had modeled for. So he was.
Gotcha.
He knew that it was a good agency, and they called me. And she's still my mother agent to this day.
Wow.
So it just kind of like, it was very normal. I wasn't scouted in a mall or on the
Yes, I was
streets
gonna say, there
or
wasn't a guy
anything
named
like that.
there wasn't a guy named Carl at a Lady Foot Locker who
No.
was like, "You got it, kid."
Yeah,
No.
the notion of the model scout
Right.
is so strange. It's like go out.
It's very
Go out
strange.
and find me some beautiful teenage girls.
That
Yeah.
I always thought that was the weirdest profession. I've never trusted anybody who's had to do that. Like can you imagine showing up at like a junior high or like a high school and like standing outside looking for beautiful
No,
girls?
there's a court order that.
Yeah, I was gonna say
friends
Matt
are
has in
doing
it now.
Have you two done that before?
Not in
Not
years.
yet.
Yeah.
Not in like 3 or 4 years.
No, but it's very, very weird. But it was very normal how it happened. And that my parents made me wait for a year. That's as long as I would wait. I was
Okay.
really anxious to get started. And then I kind of was sent to New York. And I kind of just took off from there.
What were the first things that you modeled and were involved in that world?
I didn't come from very much money or anything like that. We didn't travel very much. My first plane was my first job, which was for Billabong.
Okay.
And I was 14. And
Sure,
went to
I wore
Hawaii.
Billabong when I was 14.
Yeah.
I went to Hawaii. I was so excited
Sure.
to shoot Billabong. It was so much fun. And then it sort of took a different turn. When I flew to New York, I shot Italian Vogue and, like
As
all
one
the
does.
high fashion stuff.
There you go.
Stella McCartney, like all that stuff. So it was very
I
different.
want to know about. It seems like. As someone who grew up reading Sports Illustrated and loved the SI swimsuit issue as males do,
Sure.
it,
And females,
I loved it
imagine.
too.
Yeah.
I kind of got this impression that like the SI swimsuit issue is like the top, but there's so much more. Like, what's the biggest deal in modeling? Do you want to be on the cover of Vogue? Is it Paris Fashion Week? Like, what are the biggest
funny
things?
thing is that I shot a lot of Vogue and stuff like that, and Elle and all those things, but nobody even saw those things. My family, I mean, it's interesting.
Wow.
The difference between
Your family's awful. If they didn't see
Vogue,
you in Vogue.
But I mean, it's in Italy
It's
or
true.
things like that. So those things are great for your career in fashion, but it's on a different level when you do something like Sports Illustrated. Like my family was so excited for that stuff. My dad was like through the roof. Like, so I mean, he gets the magazine every year. So
Who's the all-timer for you in Sports Illustrated? Like when you were looking at it when you were a younger model, or even before you were a model, who was the model in Sports Illustrated? Was like, that's the one. That's number one.
I loved Elle McPherson.
Who does? Oh my god!
You didn't even
Who
speak
doesn't?
English for that reaction. Who doesn't?
That's your reaction to Elle
I'm gonna
McPherson. I
leave
love
now.
it.
Yeah.
She still looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
Sit together.
Like amazing.
I'm going to say Elle McPherson in 35 years is going to look phenomenal.
Yeah. She's just keeps getting better and better.
Who was your number one in your formative years?
That's so hard because
So like pre 97.
I'm gonna age myself. Here.
Yeah.
Kathy Ireland.
I'm going to agree.
Everyone loves Kathy.
Although
She's great.
I will say her voice when she started doing the little bit of acting and she has a little baby voice and it's a little bit.
Oh no.
It kind of changed it for me and.
You know who's also great? Who I met the other day is Petra Nemkova.
Oh.
I've heard she's horrible. No.
I met her younger sister. She's also very nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
I don't know any models' younger sisters. I don't have anything.
That's a little strange.
Yeah, I don't know what it is
Sorry.
about Kathy Ireland.
She's just great.
She's fantastic. Terrific Kmart collection, I'm told. I don't know. All right, so going back, how do you make the transition then from Italian Vogue, Elle, what have you, where your parents and family are not noticing you? How does the Sports Illustrated thing come about?
I met with Sports Illustrated. I went in. I was probably about 18 when I first met them. And I think I was a little too young still.
Okay.
And then I met them again the following year. And they were like, let's do it. And it just happened. I mean, it's been 3 years now that I've been doing it. So
You're an old pro.
I'm an
Yeah,
old
you're a
pro.
veteran.
At this point, I feel a little old. But
So where are the places that you've shot with SI?
my first year was Fiji.
Okay.
And then I got the Seychelles, and I got Australia. So I've had 3 great
Nothing
locations.
Arctic.
No, nothing
Yeah.
Arctic.
That's
you.
difficult. What has been your favorite place of those to shoot?
I loved Fiji. My first year was just magical. Like I had the most amazing time. I shot with Walter Yost, and he's
He's been doing it for
The
like
best. He's the
only photographer I know, and
35
yeah.
years. Yeah.
yeah, he's the best. So it was just amazing. It was really like that's when you become part of the family, and everyone just sort of took me under
How
their
do I
wing.
become part of that family?
Do you get ever like a day off from the shoots, or like you're not shooting today, so you get to explore the island or wherever you happen to be staying?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, because sometimes you have like a half day where before you get on the plane, or I mean, I had that in Fiji where I got to hang out with Walter and some of the crew because you're basically, it's like a 34-hour travel day to Fiji or something like that. So you have to take like a small plane into the main island and then another plane to LA and then another plane to, like, it's a lot.
I wouldn't
So-
wish that on my worst enemy.
No.
A 34-hour travel day to Fiji.
But it was worth it, I'd say.
Are you an adventurous person? You mentioned exploring around.
Yes.
But will you like try to eat something exotic when you go to these places?
Yeah,
What's the
I'm-
weirdest thing you've eaten?
Oh, God.
On like in a faraway land?
I don't know. I'm sure I've eaten some pretty weird things. I don't know. I guess the conch
Conch, yeah.
penis.
Oh.
I ate the penis. It's supposed to be like an aphrodisiac. So they make you eat.
And
I don't know. I didn't feel anything extra. from
how
that.
is it prepared? The conch wang, if you will.
They don't do anything. They just
Whoa.
literally.
It's sashimi penis.
It's sashimi penis.
Interesting.
Yes.
I didn't see
It's
this
raw.
conversation
This is
going.
also the
Well,
first
you
time-
usually eat conch raw. They don't usually cook it. It's usually like in a ceviche or whatever.
Yeah.
So you literally. I went diving for the conch. You get
Okay.
you get it.
You
and
grab
then
that conch in
you
your
grab
hand,
that
yeah.
conch. This is a very dirty conversation.
I don't know where I went wrong.
So you go diving, you get
Yeah.
it, and then they make it right there on the boat. The ceviche.
Oh, it's a
But
ceviche.
they just, I don't know if they just like remove, I don't know how they remove it, but they just kind of remove it and hand it to you and you
Honestly,
bite into it.
if I'm a conch, that's the way to go.
Yeah. This is, I think we've really, we've put together some big steps forward in saying
Yes.
sashimi penis on
Yeah.
the internet.
And it's totally accurate.
Yeah.
It is. That's really what it is.
All right.
All right.
I can say that I've eaten sashimi.
We've been trying to get you on the show for a couple weeks now. You've been traveling. You're about to go
Yes.
get on a plane, assuming the weather holds or doesn't get any worse. Where are you headed off to right now?
I am going to LA.
Oh, okay.
To see my family.
Oh,
It's
there you
not
go.
like it's not a rush trip, nothing glamorous to go shoot anything. I'm just gonna go see my family.
What is like when you're home in LA? What do you have? Where do you have to go other than hanging out with your family?
I
Like,
am busier when I'm home than I ever am when I'm traveling.
Just
and
catching up with
working.
old friends, family.
I
what?
have so many brothers and sisters, family everywhere. I have like cousins galore. I have so much family that it's impossible to see everyone. And then on top of that, I have to see like my agents and all of that. Like it's just a lot. And I have brothers and sisters that I don't see very often. So I kind of like, I always try to make a little trip. Like we're going snowboarding
Where-
and
are
for
you
the
go-
weekend.
Are you going to Big Bear?
Big Bear.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
how
Yeah.
are you on the snow? I'm terrible.
I'm okay. I'm not. The thing is that I don't really have a dominant side, left or right, because
Whoa.
I played soccer for like 14 years when I was growing up. So my dad taught me not to kick with one foot. Like I was
Okay.
very,
I had
like,
that same experience with her dad.
he kind of taught, like, because I was more on my right side, and he taught me to kind
Even
of
it out.
even it out.
Your dad was a much better soccer coach than mine. My soccer career fizzled out early because I didn't have a left foot.
Your dad was like, "No, you can use your hands. It's fine."
I was actually a pretty decent keeper.
It
Oh,
was
nice.
really good advice because I was actually better on my left than I was on my right.
I'm gonna tell you something. My dad did the same thing with me with basketball. No lie. I'm right-handed. And he taught me to dribble left-handed.
Oh,
and
good.
Thank you.
Good for you.
Yay!
No, but I'm not insanely athletic. Surprise, surprise. But
Really?
like when I was like 8 or 9 years old, I dominated those leagues because I could dribble with either hand.
That's
That is a
good.
true story.
That's a
Yeah,
good story.
Let's make
but
this about me.
The thing is that nobody's expecting it to.
Exactly.
So that it's a good advantage.
Nice.
But it's a disadvantage snowboarding because you kind of have to choose a side to go down the
that's
mountain.
true.
And I'm always switching sides.
Can't
and
decide goofy or regular.
No.
But then all the best snowboarders can ride either side too.
Right.
So maybe you're just ahead of the curve.
Maybe. That's what I'd like to think. But when I fall forward because I'm like decide it's not a good thing.
Yeah,
Nice.
never fun. Never fun
No.
to catch an edge and end up in the face down.
So you're snowboarding. You're seeing family agents. You have a large. You mentioned you have a large family.
I do.
Brothers and sisters. How many?
Yes, there's 8 of us.
8.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Can you remember at least 5 of their names?
No, not off the top of my head. Yes,
Mikey,
names,
Maki, Tommy.
Names, yes. Ages, no. Yeah.
That's fair. That's 8 is a lot.
It's a lot.
That's almost in a basketball game.
I feel like that's a,
No, it is a full team.
that's a reality show waiting to happen.
This is true.
And my sister says that all the time. She's like, we really need our own reality show because we're very, very open. Like, we talk about things that should not be talked
like
about.
conks?
No. Like what? Give us an example.
Oh, God. I don't even know if I can talk about these things
You
on the
can.
air.
It's the internet.
It's-
There's no.
Okay. Well, we have a lot of conversations. Like, the last conversation I had with my sister was about anal bleaching.
Oh.
See, I know about this.
Duh.
Not because I participate, but like this is an actual thing, which is amazing.
This is a real thing. This is a real deal thing that people do. I personally have not gone to that
we were not
extreme.
asking. We weren't asking.
Look,
Did we want to know? Yes. Were we going to ask? No.
so you have this conversation with her. How long does a
Yes.
conversation about anal bleaching last?
It like parlays into other anal conversations.
Sure. As conversations do.
As anal conversations go.
So it lasted longer than it should have, probably.
All right, but it's good to have an open relationship with
Yes.
your siblings about discussing various topics.
But
Good not to be
not
closed
like
off.
at the Christmas dinner table. Like, it gets very inappropriate. Like,
Wow.
full on.
Oh, so
with
it's
my whole family.
It's like pass the ham. By the way, girls be doing this.
Yes, exactly. It gets very
Wow.
inappropriate.
Should we talk about? Can we talk about? I feel like there's a segue here for
let's
body
I want to
painting.
stay.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
that is the perfect segue.
there's.
Oh, that's
Listen.
I don't know. Like, so I know that the process takes 14 to 24 hours.
Oh my
and,
God.
Like, how up there do they get?
Oh, they get up there.
Really?
They get up there.
Up in that.
And they're sort of like, they don't realize that like this might be an uncomfortable situation
Right.
for you.
They just think of you as a canvas.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, they're very aware. I mean, as much as they
Wow.
can be, I guess.
There's the shot, by the
But-
way, if you want to walk us through.
Oh yay!
Yeah.
It's very detailed, so they get very into it. I mean, this is my second time doing body painting, but for this, it's on location, so it's very tricky because you have to get the light at the end of the day.
Wow.
So we had a 2 a.m. call time, which is very extreme. So I ended up getting like an hour of sleep.
Oh.
Can you nod off while they're painting you?
Yes, you can, but only in certain positions.
Well, I mean, because they're jabbing you with the
Yeah.
Right.
A brush of sorts.
Right.
yeah.
But this year, since it was such an early call time, my body wasn't quite prepared to be standing for 15 hours.
Oh.
And they put on an actual suit, like a replica of an actual suit, and they outline it.
That makes sense.
And then they're kind of using like these chemicals. So I immediately had to barf, like from the
Wow.
it's 3 a.m. I'm standing up, I'm tired. There's these chemicals in my face. I'm inhaling, so I threw up immediately. And then 15 minutes later again.
Was it on the artist?
No, I
Okay,
like
that'd be
ran to the
fantastic.
bathroom. No, that would have been horrible
Yeah.
for her.
What about other bathroom breaks though? Like, can you just be like, well,
I kind of, yeah. I mean, I wasn't drinking or eating that much
Makes sense.
after having thrown up.
yeah.
So then I kind of had to like perch over a chair and kind of nod off as they did the back portion. And then you kind of have to stand. But the tricky part is that the hair removal. So you don't realize is that you have this like baby fuzz hair covering your
Oh, that's
entire
true.
body. It covers
Maybe
literally.
you do. I'm actually completely hideous.
I mean, you cannot see it. It's invisible to the eye until they start airbrushing you with paint. And I
More
had
chemicals.
a white bikini. So the white, like suddenly I was covered with this white hair and they have to shave everywhere. Like they were shaving my breasts, they were shaving my butt.
Sure.
Like everywhere they were shaving. I mean, you do what you can. Like I'm very well groomed, but
I guess.
but they are shaving you in places that are very uncomfortable.
I'd imagine.
Like I have a picture of me like taken over my shoulder of one of the artists like spreading my cheeks and like shaving and painting.
We don't have that picture.
And there,
This is the best interview ever.
it's very weird. It's
That's a personal
very
experience.
uncomfortable. I mean, Chrissy Teigen also was there. She did the next day after me, and she explained it perfectly. It's like a scene from Dexter.
Right.
Like you're like wearing a hood. They have a pillowcase over your head, so that stuff doesn't get all over your face and in your hair. Like it's
like a
very,
hostage.
it's very bizarre. It's very, very bizarre.
How are you? This is where I'm
It's
going to.
basically the most unsexy thing ever.
Well,
Depends on what you're into.
They also, because they don't want the paint to get everywhere, like they like tape everywhere except your private areas. Like
Oh.
everywhere is covered, your stomach,
the
your
reverse
legs.
bikini.
Right.
It's reverse. It's the funniest thing ever, basically. Like,
so let me ask you this: if you're nodding off or perched over a chair sleeping,
Right.
how are you as a sleeper? Because in my experience, I am not a terrible sleeper in that I keep waking up. A terrible sleeper in that I will. Like
I did.
And you're like, the mayor's coming.
There was definitely a few moments where I like twitched, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm so sorry, guys, did I mess you up? And then I fall back asleep.
You don't
and
talk
then,
in your sleep though.
No, I do
You're not
a
like
little
the parade
bit, but
is gonna start. The parade.
I didn't reach that deep of
Okay.
a sleep. Thankfully, I was just sort of nodding off
touch
a
and
little,
go.
just resting. The touch and go for sure. Like when you're on a plane and you're kind of like falling back, and then you.
Yeah.
Like snap
Oh, yeah.
back up. That's the kind of sleep that I was. But
Basically the worst kind of sleep possible.
yeah.
Yes.
But it was much needed after like throwing up, like the whole deal.
How hard is the paint to get off once you're?
It's really easy
What-
to get off.
Okay.
It was really easy. They like rub you with oil.
Okay.
It's
I
very.
like it. Yes, good. Describe this in detail, please.
Slower.
It's very sad though, because they work
All
for,
that
like,
work.
They work so hard, and then you're shooting for only like an hour and a half, and then
But the pictures last forever.
that's true.
The
That's
pictures
very
do
true.
last forever. And so we mentioned you've traveled a lot and
Yes.
nodding off on planes and touch and go. What do you do to occupy yourself when you have like the 34-hour?
Are you
trip?
music,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
movies, books?
I usually sleep on planes. Like at this point, I've been doing this for a really long time. I'm like a trained animal. Like I go to sleep as soon as I get on the plane. But if it's a super long travel, I usually read, because if I watch movies, then I'll just stay awake
What do you
the
read?
whole time.
That's weird because people read sometimes fall asleep.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, exactly. I'll read to fall
Oh,
asleep.
okay.
Like if I watch movies, I'll just get caught up and watch and watch and
Yeah,
watch.
yeah.
So I'm reading Game of Thrones. right
Yes.
now.
Whoa. They're celebrating that in the control room.
Yes, it's so
what book
good.
are you on? What number?
I'm on the third book.
Third book.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Nobody's read it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't read it.
I think three's the best. Three's the best.
Really?
Where are you in the book? We're not going to get no
No
spoilers here.
spoilers.
No spoilers
Even though you've already ruined Flight for
I know.
Tens of thousands of
No, I
people.
don't want to spoil.
No.
Tell us where you are in the book.
I'm where I don't want to ruin it.
Okay, so I just
I
like
don't know.
say like 50% through the book.
Because yeah, I'm like halfway through.
Have any major characters died?
Yes.
Oh.
Ooh.
Tears. I almost didn't want to keep going
That was a
after
bummer.
that.
That was a bummer.
I was so upset. I was reading at like 1 or 2, and I literally like punched my boyfriend in the middle of the night and was like, "Oh my God!" I was
Yeah.
so upset.
That was a bummer.
Yeah, but I'm hoping that they can make up for these horrible deaths. I almost don't want to keep going.
There's some rewarding experiences
Okay.
in the rest of book 3.
I want to
so.
keep going just for Daenerys because
Yeah, she's the
I'm.
best.
I don't know what any of this means.
Just sit
Have
out.
you
All right,
seen?
sit down.
Have you seen
No,
the show?
No.
Okay,
great.
she's the sexiest
March 31st.
character.
March 31st, everybody. Game of Thrones season 3 is back on HBO.
Yes.
Just Google her.
Okay.
She
You'll
is
be rewarded.
spectacular.
Yep.
By the way, I heard she's doing a play in New York
Yes.
in which
Breakfast
she
at
does
Tiffany's.
a full nude scene.
In the bathtub.
So I'm gonna have to go see that.
All right. Let's all go.
All right.
Let's all go together.
That may be all the time we have, unfortunately.
There was a lot of nudity in
Yes.
this podcast.
Yes.
There was a lot of anal speak.
Anal bleach, conch penis, cheeks being spread.
Yes.
Just another day.
Best show ever.
On the Halfy Hour. For Alyssa Miller. And by the way, if you're feeling down energy-wise, throw in some e-boost. Throw in some e-boost.
Yes.
Anyway,
Do it.
that is Alyssa Miller. You can find all of her work at sportsillustrated.si.com.
Yes.
By all
Do
means,
it.
check out the swimsuit issue.
It's so you go to si.com, it's so hard to find swimsuit pictures. They just hide them on the site.
Yes,
It's-
absolutely.
There's no
It gets,
promotion for it
by the way,
whatsoever.
very risky. They put the more risky photos online. So
How dare
check that
they?
out.
How dare they? Earmark Alyssa Miller's pages
Twitter.
for Matt Ufford. Oh, follow her on Twitter by all means.
Yes.
Love
Love-
Alyssa Miller.
LUV. Alyssa Miller.
LUV.
That's right.
Because it's fewer characters. And more adorable.
It's more adorable that way.
This has been the Halfy Hour. By all means, subscribe on iTunes. Follow Matt. Follow Alyssa. Follow me. Do whatever you want. But thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.